We are joined by ACLJ Senior Counsel for Global Affairs, former Secretary of State and CIA Director Mike Pompeo. Secretary Pompeo, as we go into the holiday weekend, it's great to have you on the broadcast. You tweeted out yesterday that America leads best when our interests and values are placed first, not last. We must be undeterred and unapologetic in our fight to protect American values. I mean, this as we go into the celebration this weekend of our freedom, of our independence, it does feel like some of our American values are under threat in today's world, certainly.
Well, Jordan, thanks for having me on today, and happy 4th of July to you and to everyone watching and listening today. My point was really very simple. I traveled the world these past 4 years, putting America first. Every place we went, it was clear we were trying to keep Americans safe, America secure, trying to help Americans find good work. So we had an economy that was strong, and we had partners that were trading with us in a way that was fair for the United States. And they all watched what was going on here at home. And when they saw division, when they saw Marxist-Leninist organizations like Black Lives Matter disrupting our capacity to govern, this weakens the United States of America. And so we need to make sure that everyone is focused on the things that matter here, right? We shouldn't be teaching racism in our schools. We shouldn't be advocating for policies that will undermine our church institutions, our religious institutions, our religious freedom here at home. We saw churches that couldn't gather during the pandemic. These are things that threaten our republic, and we need to make sure we understand what America's values are and its deep interests, and we need to be fearless and never give an inch in our pursuit to make them real for every single American.
Let me ask you this also, Mike, because this is something that, we're celebrating Independence Day, and we've got a great piece up, by the way, at Bald Beagle, our children's channel, on the importance of Independence Day. It really explains it. It's a 7-minute video. I encourage everybody to go check it out on YouTube. But the Communist Party of China is celebrating this week its 100th year of its current regime's rule. And I go back to this because when you first came on board with us, we talked about the threat of China. It has not gotten better. It's gotten worse.
Jay, it's clearly gotten worse. They sense that America's not going to push back against what they want to do. They want to create their power and exert their power all over the world. You saw what Xi Jinping, their leader, the Chinese Communist Party's general secretary, said yesterday. He said, anyone who challenges us will meet hard steel. Well, we need to be prepared. We need to confront them. They want to change our very way of life here. And you can see it. You can see it how they treat their citizens at home. They don't give a rip for human life. A million Uyghurs being held. They've hoisted a virus on the world. The list of their activities is long, but make no mistake, they have both the intention and they will build out the capabilities that will put at risk the very republic and the way of life that the West has, we in the United States have. When you think of our founding and you lay it against, right, you lay it against the Chinese Communist Party's history, it's Marxist-Leninist history, you know who must prevail, and it's simply going to require leaders who are prepared to confront it in the serious way that the United States did when the Soviet Union threatened to impose the same kind of communist ideology, not only on us, but on the world.
Andy Economou, our colleague, has a comment for you, a question.
Yes, Mr. Secretary, talking about China, this week the Republicans in Congress attempted to hold a hearing to get to the bottom of the origin of the coronavirus. The Democrats, of course, did not show up, and Speaker Pelosi is not going to support the Republican effort. Are you concerned that this apparent, obvious Democratic effort at division is going to assist in giving China a pass on its responsibility for this virus and this pandemic?
Well, that's a great question. It sure looked like a pass for sure from the Democrat leadership in the House of Representatives, who clearly must have instructed these folks not to show up at this, which is odd. This is not a partisan issue. Finding out where the virus began and how we had 600,000 Americans that have ultimately passed away, billions of dollars in wealth destroyed here in the United States, a country that we know exported the virus when they knew it was both highly contagious and highly lethal. They allowed sick people to travel outside of their country. Now, this is something that every leader owes America. We have to do our best to get to the answer, and we could see foreshadowing of this, the boycott of this hearing when they rejoined the World Health Organization. Right, that was the indicator that they were going to cave, they were going to accede to the globalists and allow China to skate on this Wuhan virus.
Another piece you've got up, it's brand new at aclj.org, and it's called Protecting Our Second Amendment is Essential to Liberty. I think that's so important going into the July 4th weekend and the celebration of Independence Day. I think this is a very important message to hear. Tell people again what they will learn about this new piece up at aclj.org by you.
Well, the timing of this was intentional, right? We're doing this on Independence Day. Right, we know the story of the revolution where they were quartering soldiers and making folks pay taxes they didn't get a chance to be represented and vote on. These were the things that our founders said, nope, that's enough. And one of the things that came out of that was this glorious Bill of Rights, this singular document that said to every American, our Creator gave us these rights and we're going to put them inside our Constitution. One of those is the capacity to carry a firearm, to make sure that you have the ability to do the things you need to do to secure your own family. My wife and I had concealed carry permits when we lived back in Kansas back in the day. This is something that really matters, and I hope every American will think about the rights that we have and the power that we have because we're Americans, and our government can never take these rights away from us, and we need to both value that and fight to protect it every day.
Mike, as you know, this year we kind of have a theme of the ACLJ now more than ever, and I think about these issues that we've talked about just today, whether it's the Second Amendment, whether it's China, whether earlier in the broadcast before you were on, we were dealing with the reaction of the Democrats to the Supreme Court's great decisions the last few days, which of course is pack the court. That's the reaction. We're going to get in that in the second half of the broadcast. But when I think about our work at the ACLJ on so many of these issues, and you're joining us as such a big part of this and helping us to hone in on this. If you don't fight for freedoms, they don't defend themselves, so to speak. I mean, we have to stand up for them.
Oh, Jay, it's so true. The ACLJ has been a big part of this. No, this document, the Constitution, is not self-executing. Right. Our founders knew that it took human beings with virtue and character committed to advance this republic. Ronald Reagan talked about it can go away in a generation. We've seen that happening just these last 6 months. We've seen this abrogation of our fundamental rights. No, it's going to take every one of us. And the ACLJ, I am confident, will be a big part of that. But every American's got to go make sure every place they go, their PTA meeting, their school board meeting, that they're defending those basic rights.
Well, we appreciate it. We're thrilled you're part of our team. Happy Independence Day, and thank you for all of your efforts.
Thank you all. So long.
All right, bye-bye.